Dear students, dear viewers, hello and welcome to the introduction of our course Sustainability Marketing. My name is Nadine Dembski and I work for the Virtual Academy of Sustainability. And if you have any questions about the Academy or about our courses, don't hesitate to contact me. You will find our contact information on the slides or on our portal. As you can read on the first slide, you will see our both lecturers, Professor Belz from Germany and Professor Peaty from UK in this introduction too. But at first, let's have a look what we want to show you in this introduction. Professor Peaty and Professor Belz will give you some more information about their background and about the relevance of sustainability marketing. And of course, they will show you what this lecture can offer you as a student. And if you want to use our course as a student, at the end I will give you some more information about how to study this special kind of course. But now let us start with our lecturers.
Welcome students. I'm really happy that you joined us. My name is Frank Martin Belz and I will lead you through the lectures of sustainability marketing together with my colleague and friend Ken Peaty. I hold the chair for corporate sustainability at the Technische Universität München, the TUM School of Management in Munich. The TUM School of Management mainly focus on the interaction of technology and management. We deal a lot with sustainability innovations like electric cars, like renewable energies, like organic food products, and so on and so forth, and how to develop and introduce them to the market. And that is the core of the lecture Sustainability Marketing. I studied marketing at the University of Mannheim in Germany sometime in the last century, don't ask me when. It's a long time ago, almost 25 years. And later on in the 1990s, I did my PhD at the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland. And then I worked as a postdoc researcher at the University of St. Gallen. I also visited other universities, including the University of Gothenburg and the Boston University. Ever since 2003, I've been at the Technische Universität München, but I was also visiting professor at the University of ESAN in Lima in Peru, which was a great opportunity for me to also see other cultures. And that is something you will also hear about in this lecture. We will cover sustainability marketing from a truly global perspective. So we may have a lot of examples from Western Europe and North America, but you will also find a lot of examples from South America, from Africa and Asia, from other parts of the world. So welcome to Sustainability Marketing. We are really happy that you joined us and we hope that you will stay with us. Thank you for listening and bye for now.
Hello, my name is Ken Peaty. I'm Professor of Marketing and Strategy at Cardiff Business School, and for the last 11 years I've been Director of the Centre for Business Relationships, Accountability, Sustainability and Society, which is a major social science research centre dedicated to issues of corporate social responsibility and business sustainability. Before I became an academic, after I graduated, I worked for 5 years in industry, working in marketing and also strategic planning. Firstly for a global paper company and later in the international electronics industry. So I have a little background as a marketing practitioner. But after a few years, I got involved in a project working with a university and I discovered I really liked working with students. I enjoyed writing about marketing issues, researching them and helping students learn about them. So I gave up the life of a practitioner and became an academic, and I've been one ever since.
As I said before, I studied business administration, majoring in marketing in the 1980s. And I was really interested in marketing. I loved marketing. I love design, I love communications, and I was really interested how the broader changes in the environment, how it changes the world of marketing, and the other way around, how marketing, how products and brands change the environments. But then after my studies, I had the feeling there must be more to it. What's behind it all? Is there an underlying meaning? And I wanted to do something, well, for myself, but also for the greater of society. And that's how I got involved into eco-marketing and later into sustainability marketing.
In terms of how I got into sustainability marketing, it really goes back to my undergraduate days at university. The degree I took was one of geography and management studies, which at the time was a very unusual degree in the UK to combine elements of geography and the environment with issues of business. And the idea behind that degree was it would create graduates who understood environmental issues and understood business. At the time when I graduated, it actually confused businesses rather considerably why you would want graduates who understood those two issues. I'm glad to say today the idea of putting businesses and environmental issues together doesn't seem very strange, but at the time it did. So when I began working in the world outside, I didn't really use my sort of environmentalist background in terms of my studies to begin with. But after a while, when I became an academic, it was at the end of the 1980s, and this was a time really when the Brundtland report had just come out. Environmental issues and sustainability issues were really rising up the social agenda very fast at the time. And yet what puzzled me was really the marketing profession and marketing academics really weren't taking a great deal of interest. So when I came to developing my own areas to research into, I actually started saying, well, let's look at the potential implications of the sustainability movement for the marketing profession. And when I began doing that at the end of the 1980s, many of my colleagues thought it was a very strange thing for a business academic to do, to take an interest in sustainability issues. But very gradually, I feel, the issues I've been concerned about of social and environmental problems for business and sustainability have become much more mainstream. And now I'm considered a much more mainstream figure in the marketing academy than I was 20 years ago.
What do I find interesting about sustainability marketing? I think there are two aspects. The first one is that sustainability marketing challenges the conventional approach of marketing. It challenges the basic assumptions, but also the marketing mix and how it was taught in the 20th century. And the second aspect is that I like the interdisciplinary approach. I like to learn as a marketing guy and lecturer. I like to learn about the social and environmental problems as a starting point. So I get into social sciences or environmental sciences. I learn from natural scientists from other fields. I also learn from political sciences when we talk about sustainability marketing transformations, something we will cover in lecture 11. So that's what I find interesting about sustainability marketing.
I would definitely agree with Frank that in terms of what's interesting about sustainability marketing, partly is the unconventional nature of it, the challenging nature of it, and the degree to which it is interdisciplinary. It takes you beyond the normal bounds of marketing. I'd probably add a couple of other things that I find particularly interesting. I find it a very creative approach to marketing. Very often sustainability marketing involves quite new, young, innovative companies coming up with very, very innovative ways of helping deliver sustainability solutions to their customers, really completely rethinking elements of consumption, rethinking approaches to markets in ways that's often very exciting. It also involves large companies who are maybe very well established, having to think often in a more nimble, almost think like smaller companies and start to reinvent themselves and the way they do business and what they're there for, start to develop really quite innovative and different ways of delivering value to customers. So I do find it a very kind of creative arena for marketing that makes it interesting. I also think it's an interesting subject to discuss because if you look at a lot of the key issues in terms of developing a more sustainable society in the future, a lot of them are marketing issues. It's about changing the products and the services that we consume. It's about finding new ways of developing houses to live in, ways of running them as homes, developing new types of electronic products, for example, new ways of transporting people, changes to the foods that we eat, the clothes that we wear. A whole range of those products will need to change if we're going to create a more sustainable society. Also in terms of prices for things, that we're going to have to find ways of making the environmental and social costs of the products that we buy, find ways of having their prices cover those social and environmental costs, which are often treated as externalities and not met. So we'll have to find new ways to kind of price products to make them more sustainable. Many of the environmental impacts of goods and services are to do with their distribution and the global distribution systems behind the consumer economies today. So those are all very much marketing issues, along with really managing our expectations. The expectations of consumers, of shareholders, of citizens will all have to be addressed and changed, I think, if we're going to make real progress towards a sustainable society. So these are all very much marketing issues. So I think because marketing is at the forefront of the changes that we need to make to create a more sustainable society, that sustainability marketing as a topic is very important and is very interesting.
How can students benefit from sustainability marketing? I think there are basically two types of students. One is you're already familiar with marketing, but less familiar with sustainability issues and how it influences marketing. So sustainability marketing and our lecture will give you as marketing students a value added. It will sensitize you to social and environmental issues and how it influences market decisions. And then there's a second type of students. They may be familiar with sustainability issues, but less familiar with the science of marketing. So those students can learn how to implement solutions to sustainability problems and how to market them successfully. And I think these are the benefits for you and some value added for your career. And we hope that you learn from our lectures and that it enables you to make changes for a sustainable future.
In terms of the benefits that the book Sustainability Marketing and these lectures offer to students, again, I would very much agree with Frank, although I'd probably add that I see it as creating a very holistic and a structured approach to thinking about sustainability and marketing and how they come together. And also I think it helps people to think about sustainability not as an issue for marketing, but as an approach to marketing and a fresh approach to marketing. And I think one of the problems that we've had so far is that very often sustainability issues have been treated as issues. But I think if we're going to make real progress towards sustainability in business, in education, in policy making, for example, we'll need to start recognizing that it's a completely different way of thinking about those issues. It's really about an approach to the way we live, the way we do business, and even the way we learn.
Well, what about sustainability in my personal life? I still remember 20 years ago when I wrote my PhD thesis on ecology and competitiveness in the food industry. Of course, I also reflected upon my own consumer behavior, including my food consumption, also my mobility patterns and so on and so forth. And I made some small experiments, I would say. So for a certain period of time, for example, I remember I stopped using my car. And after 3 months not using it at all, I remember giving it up altogether. So ever since 1992, I have not owned a car. And I really believe in sustainable mobility patterns, like using public transportation instead of owning a car, or instead of instead of flying around the world and so on. And then I also thought about my food consumption. I must admit, I'm not vegetarian. I still, once in a while, I still love eating meat, but I reduced it to a certain level. And I also buy a lot of organic food, so as a rule of thumb, I would say at least 2/3 or 3/4 of our food comes from organic farming. Although nowadays we mainly buy in large conventional food retailers like Rewe in Germany, for example. Besides, we just moved into a new apartment, a very nice apartment, kind of, I would say, luxury. But it's a very energy efficient apartment. It was a very important purchasing criteria for us. And I enjoy the power of the sun, may it be in the summertime or the wintertime, which heats up the interior part and which makes a very nice, cozy apartments. So in these areas, which are really important from an ecological point of view, but social point of view, like food, mobility, and housing, living, I really make it a point. And yet, sometimes it's really difficult, especially in your professional life. I mean, sometimes you are pressured or you are asked to attend a conference or to make a keynote speech somewhere. So you don't have a choice. I mean, you take the plane. Although there are possibilities to offset the flight. I don't always do that, to be honest. But at least I try to reduce the flights as far as possible. And I would say sustainability also had a huge impact on my professional life. I mean, I did my PhD in this field, and then in the late 1990s, ecology and social issues were out of fashion, I would say. At that time, shareholder value and online media was a big buzz. And a lot of marketing colleagues advised me to move away from exotic ethical fields like, sustainability and marketing towards other conventional issues. I decided to follow my heart and to go on with that. And it was difficult, but honestly, I never regretted that decision. And that's also the reason why Ken and I decided to write the textbook to spread the word and to make some changes in our community, the marketing science community, and in practice. So yes, it had a tremendous impact on my life.
In terms of sustainability within my own life, probably like most consumers living in consumer economies in a developed country, it's a mixture of the good and the bad. The good I would highlight is that I tend to I either walk and use the train or I cycle to get to work depending on the weather. I'm generally a bit of a fair weather cyclist, but I do try and avoid using a car as much as possible. Again, if I travel by a plane, which is bad, I do try and carbon offset, which is good. I do the simple things in life, like moving towards sustainable energy tariffs to power my house. I like to try and use organic food, locally grown and seasonal produce as much as I can. And I don't like throwing things away, so I do like trying to fix goods and keep them working as long as I can. I love eBay, so if I can buy things from eBay, I buy them from eBay. If I don't need something anymore, I try and sell it from eBay so somebody can get the benefit. So yeah, there are good things I feel I do as a consumer and as a citizen. But at the bad, well, I live in Wales, which is a country is prone to being a bit cold and a bit wet. So the temptation of getting on a plane and going every now and again to somewhere that's a bit sunnier and a bit warmer does become irresistible now and then. And I probably have more electronic gadgets in my home than I really need, although I do enjoy using very many of them. So I do try and power them sustainably if I can, but I probably need a bit less equipment if I'm going to lead a genuinely sustainable life.
If you're interested in sustainability marketing now, how do you go about it? How do you take the course? Well, first of all, I would like to suggest that you have a look at the online lectures. All of them are open and for free. Once you had a look at the lectures, we would like to advise you and recommend you to read our textbook. It is the basic reading of the entire lectures. It was released in August 2012, and it's a textbook written by myself and my colleague Ken Petey. And as you can see from the title and the pictures, it's sustainability marketing from a global perspective. So here you can see the globe, and it really covers sustainability marketing cases from all over the world, from different regions of the world, including Western Europe, including North America, South America, Africa, and Asia. So it's quite interesting. And besides, we cover different fields of consumption, of B2C marketing, business to consumers, including food, including housing, including textiles and cars, of course. So I hope you enjoy reading the book, which are the basic reading for the lectures. And further information on the course will be given to you by Mrs. Dembski.
Thank you, Mr. Belz. Let me now give you some more general information about our course. First, all the videos are freely available on our portal, so you can use our videos as a student, but also when you're just interested in inform you about sustainability marketing. But if you want to get credit points as a student, that's the most important information, you have to make an examination. But more information about the exams I will give you later. When you look to the structure of our course, you will see that every lecture is divided into 3 episodes of 30 minutes. The first 2 episodes are presentation with slides like here, and the third episode mostly is an interview, sometimes a case study. All slides you will see during the course you can download on our learning platform. How to log in is, I think, the next question. When you go to our website, you will see the login for the platform. Learning with videos offers you to study self-contained. You can use your own timetable, but nevertheless, there's a framework if you as a student want to get 3 credit points. For this 3 credit points you have to work round about 90 hours, and within that time you have to watch all the videos of the course. It means all presentations and the interviews, and we recommend to use the slides to make own notes and to really work the lectures through. You always have to do the exercises at the end of the presentations, read literature, and of course you have to prepare for the exam. More information about how to study and which learning materials you can use to support your own learning process you will find on our learning platform. As I already said, to get these 3 credit points you have to write an electronic examinations. And we work together with a lot of universities, and for you it's the next step to look if your university, your high school is one of our cooperating partners. If not, you can contact us and we will support you in finding a solution for writing the external validation. Now some more details about the examinations. Of course, all our videos from the course Sustainability Marketing are relevant for the examination, and there will be different kinds of closed questions, and to get a better impression which kind of questions we will use, you can look on both websites. On the one is a demo exam, and the other one will give you some more background information about the kind of electronic examinations. Last but not least, I wish you happy learning with our course Sustainability Marketing. Bye.